This is Gemara Yevamos Daf Asamoch Gimel. Today's share has been generously sponsored as a schus for Shleima for Chedvalea Bas Asaradina. Amir Hashem, learning the entire Chabura should bring Chedvalea Bas Asaradina an incredible and complete Refuah Shleima, and hopefully Amir Hashem we should be able to share good news that she's home and recovering very, very shortly. As well as learning Shvias Chashudim V'Salchaim V'Devar Tam Ritzuva Asparach Shalom Levizava Ovi Vitali Shem and Chayov Yehudas Bas Sima Malka, as well as schus for Shleima Shal Yosef Nevedim Bit Shenimol Ben Tila Naftali Mechles Nelchom Vasiva Sarblum Vasmindel Chaim Moshe Yeshua Ben Malka Vashavika Sheikhana Besoich Sha'ar Chayli Yisrael. We're holding towards the bottom of Samach Beis and Beis. We began yesterday some of the Agadata portions. More particularly, we dealt yesterday with the din of and the mitzvah of Puravu. But now we're 3 lines into the medium-sized line, and today we're going to deal heavily with the Agadata of marriage. So begins the Gemara Amrav Tanchum Amrav Chanilai Kol Adam She'in Lo Isha. Any person that does not have a wife, Shari B'loi Simcha, is living without any happiness, B'loi Bracha, without blessing, B'loi Taiva, without any goodness, and now the Gemara explains, B'loi Simcha, you should rejoice you in your household. So if you don't have a household, a wife, you have no Simcha. B'loi Bracha, to bring blessing upon your home. Man is not good to be by himself. Not only is it all the above, but below Taira, below Chayma, it's neither, you're also lacking in Taira, and the Chayma is a protective wall. Below Taira, says the pasuk, "Him ein ez rasi biv so shia nidcha mimeni." He's my own helper, not with me. Is my wisdom pushed away? So without the ezer, without the wife, you're without the Torah. And below chayma, without the protective wall, the chsev in the first white line, nekiva tisoivev. The Keva Tisayvev Gever. Says the pasuk, the woman is going to surround Soivev, the man. She's going to be the protective wall for the man. Then Rava Bar Ula adds on below Shalom. You have no peace. Chsev V'yadata Kishama Alecha V'Kadata Noyach V'Loi Secha. You should know that your tent, your house is at peace, and then you're going to visit your home and everything's going to be okay. So all the different things that one is lacking without a wife. The Gemara continues. Amar Rav Shuma and Levi Kol Yodea Be'ishto Shi Yira Shamayim. If you know about your wife that she is a God-fearing woman, she has Yira Shamayim ve'enoi paikta, and you do not have intimate relations with her, you do not sleep with her, nikra chayte, you are called a sinner. Shnami ve'data kishama alecha, and you should know that your tent is whole. And of course, we'll make the disclaimer now, and we'll point it out a few times. Each line, each pshat, each din and statement over here has numerous explanations. We're just going to go, for the lack of time, into just most basic and simple understanding of the words of the Gemara. Ve'omer Rav Yeshua ben Levi, 5 lines from the bottom, another pshat in this pasuk. When one leaves his wife is longing for him. So you have to be mefakid, you have to sleep with your wife before her. You go on a trip, and you should know that there's peace in your house before you leave your house. Says the Gemara, we learn it out from a different pasuk that says, says the pasuk, in your craving, the woman's cravings for her husband. And Milami, what does this teach? That when a husband leaves, the woman is longing for her husband. And of course, the main mitzvah of Aina, the main mitzvah of intimate relations, husband and wife, is when she is longing for it. So when the husband leaves, that's the main time for this mitzvah. So says the Gemara, why are you telling me we learn it out from our pasuk? There's another pasuk. Explains the Gemara, Rav Yosef leNitzcha Allah Samach levest. We need a special pasuk to teach us even close to the vest, close to the time that a woman is supposed to see her period, which usually it is forbidden for husband and wife to be together, but over here it is going to be allowed. V'kama, and how long? Amarava, it's going to be. And Oina explains the Gemara, it's only if the husband's going for not a chi of purpose. He's going for dvar rishos, we'll call it vacation. Aval dvar mitzvah mitridi, if the husband's going in a mitzvah and the place to speak out for business is also a mitzvah to support his family, and therefore the husband is tarred, the husband is obligated with his mitzvah, and therefore he does not have to be with his wife before he leaves. Tana Rabbana, the Gemara continues with a 4th way of learning the aforementioned pasuk. If someone loves his wife like his own body, and if you honor your wife more than your body, and you put your children on the right path, and you marry them off close to Lapirka, which over here means close to when they become an adult, close to their maturity. The Pasuk says you should know your tent will be at peace. Continues the Braisa. Someone who loves his neighbors, and you bring your relatives close, and you marry your sister's daughters, moving over to today's Daf Gimel Amud Aleph, and you give a loan to a poor person of Asela b'shas doichik when he needs it. Allah v'akasav oimer oz tikra v'Hashem yanes yishua v'yomer hineni tishavea v'yomer hineni. You're going to call out, and Hashem's going to answer you. So all the incredible things that one has to be careful about. And once we're on the topic of Rav Elazar, the Gemara continues with 7 different memras, statements of Rav Elazar. Siman Isha Karka Eizer Shasa Berchais Tigra Pach Si. Says the Gemara, Omar Rav Elazar, continuing with the first statement of Rav Elazar. Again, classical, I got it to form. One statement of Rav Elazar leads to the next, etc. 4 lines from the bottom. Samach Gimel Amud Aleph, Kol Adam She'ein Lo Isha Einoi Adam. Person does not have a wife, he's not a man. We're going to see many different maimers Chazal today about marriage, about women, about wives. Shenemar Zachar Nekeva, Bar'am, he created them. Zachar Nekeva, Vayikra Shemam Adam, and the literal meaning is the two of them are one entity called Adam. So when a man has his wife together, they are this entity called Adam, and without the wife, he's not an Adam. Amar Rav Elazar, number 2, Adam Shein Lo Karka Einoi Adam. If you don't own any land, you're not considered a man. Shenemar Hashemayim Shvayim Hashem Haaretz Nasan Lenei Adam. Rav Elazar, number 3, he says the pasuk, I'm going to make him an ezer, a helpmate opposite him. Zacha izartoi loy zacha kenegdoi. If you're zaycha, your wife will be your ezer, your helper. If you're not zaycha, she'll be kenegdoi. She'll be fighting. She'll be opposing you. V'ikadiyamri. Another way of learning this last Josh Rav Elazar Rami ksev kenegdoi v'karina kenigdoi. There's 2 ways that this pasuk, the words are written kenegdoi. Literally kenagdoi literally means that she whips him, but the way that we read it is kinegdai, meaning opposite him. So what are these 2 psukim? So zacha kinegdai, she's going to be with you. Loi zacha minagdasai, she's going to be whipping you figuratively. And these are the different forms of wives. And the Gemara tells a story. Rav Yosi met Eliyahu Navi and Amar Lei Ksiv Esel. It says, I'll make him a ezer, a helper, b'ma, with what? Isha. B'ma Isha Zartal Adam. So he asked Eliyahu, with what does a woman help a man? Amar Lo, Eliyahu responds, Adam maybe chitin. The husband brings on wheat. Chitin kaises. Does he chew the wheat whole? Pishtin, he brings on flax. Pishtin leivish. Do you wear your flax? Of course not. Lo nimsas meira. Enough. Does it not show that she illuminates him, she helps him, she takes all his raw products and makes it into finished product? And of course, there's much more depth to these statements. It doesn't just mean the literal clothing and food that she makes for him, but even in the figurative sense, the woman takes the man's unchartered and big dreams and makes them into reality by holding them in and creating the final product. V'amar Rav Elazar, the 4th statement, my dechsev, about 20 lines into Samach Gimel Amud Aleph. The first one line is dechsev. What is the meaning of the pasuk? Says the pasuk that Hashem made the man and the woman, and this is the bone of my flesh and the flesh of my flesh. Malamid, what does this teach us? That Adam Arishan tried to sleep with each and every animal, and it didn't work. You didn't calm down until he was together with Chava, the woman, and then he calmed down. That was obviously the correct type of relationship. Amar Rav Elazar, a 5th statement of Rav Elazar, with you we're going to be blessed, all the nations, all the families of the world. Avram. HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells Avram 4 lines from the white line. Shtei brachas taibes yesh li lahavrich becha. I have 2 brachas, 2 shoots literally that I'm going to graft for you. Who are they? Ros hamayavia v'nama hama'anis. And the pasuk continues, Kol mishpachos ha'adama, all the families of the land. And what does that refer to? 1 line before the white lines. Even the families who dwell on the earth. The whole world is blessed because of Klal Yisrael. Continues the pasuk, the nations of the world. Even though ships that come from Galia to a place called Spain. V'amar Rav Elazar, on the second white line, a 6th statement of Rav Elazar, all of all the craftsmen, the Bali Noyis in the world, Lasa Lavai, are going to settle on the land like farmers. Alakarka, Shnemav Yardu Manios, Kol Tov say, Moshot Moshoit Malochim Kochav Le'ayam Alaret Ya'amoidu. The pasuk says they're going to get off their boats, they're going to grab their oars, all their sailors, all the different people, and what are they going to do? They're going to be on the ground, deferring to the fact that everyone in the world will be the farmers. V'amar Rav Elazar, a seventh and final statement: In the Cha'omni is Bechusim in Akarka. There's no lower livelihood than those who work with the ground. The farmers Shnemav Yardu, as it says, they're going to go down. So the seven statements of Rav Elazar, holding on the fifth wide line, and continues the Gemara by telling us Rav Elazar Chazyahu Ara. Rav Elazar saw a certain piece of land, Ishadu Bey Karva Leputya, and there was cabbage planted in it. Leputya, on the width of the land. Amar Le Itishtaya L'Orkech. Rav Elazar spoke to the land figuratively, and Rav Elazar said, if you're going to put your furrow the other way, if we would have planted this the other way, Afuche Be'iska Toiv Minach. Buying and selling is even greater than you, pointing out that even you could have the greatest product, the greatest farmer, but still that's not as great as one who's afuche be'iska, one that is dealing with buying and selling. And similarly tells the Gemara, Rav ol lebeinei Shivli. Rav walked through the grains, Chazano de Kanaifin, and what he sees, he saw the different ears of grain were waving in the wind. Amr Lahol, he knifed it as Nufi. Rav said to them, you could wave and wave. Hafuche Beska Tav Minach, but someone who deals with business, someone who buys and sells, is greater than you. And Amar Rav, and Rav says, the third memra, mimicking the same day in Meya Zuzi Beska, 100 zuz in business, Kol Yoima, Bisra V'chamra, your whole life you'll have meat and wine, but Zuzi Ba'ara, 100 zuz, it doesn't mean Ba'ara in a land, it means in farming. Milcha v'chafura, it's salt and sprouts, it's not as good as obviously the business as the Gemara is bringing out. Not only that, but it lays him down in the earth, and it raises up different issues, different legal disputes with him. The Gemara pointing out how the farmer is the lowly one, and those who deal with buying and selling is at a much higher level. Continues the Gemara, Amar Rav Papa, says Rav Papa, or about 15 lines from the bottom, the first one line is Papa. Zira loitizbin. Again, we're now morphed from the 7 statements of Rav Elazar into a bit of economics, a bit of a business primer, different dinim, different members teaching us the importance of buying and selling versus farming. Now continues Rav Papa by teaching us Zira loitizbin, plant and do not purchase. Even though it seems like the same, you're buying the same amount that you're going to plant, but still it is better to plant. Hani mevarchin zavin v'loi. Honey bivarchin, the crops that you grow, you're going to end up having more. So the same amount of money spent, you're going to end more, says Rav Papa, if it's via the farming than by buying it. Zavin v'lo tezel, and continues the Gemara, you should sell and don't become poor. Honey mili bis tarki, says the Gemara, that's referring to different items in the household. Sell them and don't become poor. Avol glima, when it comes to your clothing, don't sell your clothing. Loi misrami lei, don't do such a thing, because you're never going to find the clothing that you have. You're never going to find something to replace it. It continues the Gemara with more advice. Plug up a hole if there's a little crack in the wall, and don't tishapetz do shiputzim, which means don't. Sometimes you have a little crack. How do you fix it the proper way? You make the hole larger and then you plaster it up. Don't do that. But continues the Gemara, shafait. But if it's even larger, then you should do a basic fix job. Tivni, but don't knock down the whole wall, then rebuild it. Masking. Anyone who does construction becomes poor. So you have a way to fix it. You always go for the smaller type of building than to rebuild the entire area. Continues the Gemara. Jump to buy land. Mata nisiv itza. But be careful when you take a wife. When it comes to land, that you jump at. But the wife, don't jump at so fast. Nachiz darga. When it comes to a wife, go down a level. Nasiv itza. Marry someone lower than you. Sak darga bachar shavniya. But go up when it comes to confidence, when it comes to a friend. And of course, many pshatim in exactly what the Gemara is referring to over here. But continues the Gemara that we go back. And one of the statements of Rav Elazar was dealing with what's going to happen to the whole world based on the Mishpachas Adama, based on Klal Yisrael. So Amar Rav Elazar, Bar Ravina says, Ravlaza Bar Ravina in Praniya is Baal Olam, again about 12 lines from the bottom. First word of line is Ein. Ein Praniya is Baal Olam El B'Shvil Yisrael. The Praniya has come to the world because of Klal Yisrael. Shnemar Karti Goyim Neshamu. Akrati Goyim Noshamu Pinoisa Machrafti Chitzaisam. I've eliminated, I've destroyed the Goyim, their towers, their Pinoisam have become desolate, and Achrafti Chitzaisam, I destroyed their streets. Uksev, and continues the pasuk, Amarti Ach Tiri Oisi Musar, and continues the pasuk. I said when I made the destruction, just be careful. Have Yira Shamayim, says Hashem to Klal Yisrael. And after the lengthy digression from all the dinim of marriage, says the Gemara, Rav have a mifter Rav Chia. Rav was leaving Rav Chia and Amar Le Rachmana Litzlach Memidi Dekashem Imaisa. And Rav Chia said to him, Hashem should save you from that which is worse than death. What could be worse than death? Naftaki went out says Isha. Terrible wife could be worse than even death. And continues the Gemara by telling a story. Rav's wife was aggravating, was annoying him. When Rav would say, make me taloivchi, which means lentils, of the chemsi, she would make a different dish called chemsi. When he would say chemsi of the taloivchi, he couldn't get it right. He asked for A, she gave her B. He asked for B, she gave her A. When Rav's son Chia grew up, he said, Dad, Rav, what's going on? Just switch around the words. You want your Talayvchi, ask for your Chimsi. You want your Chimsi, ask for Talayvchi. Omar Le, and that's what the son Chia did. Yalach imach. So Rav said to his son, can you ask Mom for some food? And Omar La, Anav, to come to and then he explained to his father, I am the one that switched around the words, and that's why you're getting the right food. Omar La, Rav responded, Hainu de Kamri Inchi, de nothing minach. This is what people... This is what people mean. The child who comes from you is going to teach you. You, my son, you taught me the right way of dealing with our mother. Well, my wife. But continues, Rav, you shouldn't do this. Why? The greatness of Rav, even though he finally had the right food to eat, still he did not appreciate his son saying at whatever level this is a sheker. Of course, it's difficult why exactly it is sheker, especially number one, it's because it's for shalom. Number two, it's just that's what the word meant. But let's continue. Continues the Gemara, 3 lines to the bottom. Rav Chia wife was annoying him. And yet, when Rav Chia, Shalom Bayis tips, when Rav Chia will find something that he knew his wife would like, he would wrap it up in a handkerchief and bring it to his wife. Rav said, why are you treating your wife so well? She annoys you, she aggravates you. Amar Le, responds Rav with those incredible words. Is it not enough that my wife brings up our children and she saves me from chait? The mere fact I have a wife and I don't have to have illicit and immoral thoughts teaches Rav how appreciative one has to be for his wife. And as we turn over to Samuel Gimel, says the Gemara, Makli Rav Yehuda Rav Yitzchak Brei. Rav Yehuda called and read the following pasuk to his son, and I found worse than death a wife. Like your mother. What do you mean? But Rav Yehuda at a different interval taught his son Rav Yitzchak, there's no greater thing than Ketemin than his first Mishtay Rishon, his first wife. And you'll rejoice with your early wife. And when his son said, I don't understand. Was his wife Mar Mimaves, or was his wife this wonderful woman? So says the Gemara, he explains a matkif takifa. She would react harshly, vavuri ma'avra b'mila, but then she would calm down very easily. So exactly how that answers the question, says the Gemara. We'll leave it at that. So what is an ishara? Marabaya mikashta. Leitaka, she sets the table, umikashale puma, but she comes to the table with a foul mouth to insult her husband, different pshatim, perhaps it's even worse. She makes believe like she's giving him, and then whack, she comes along with all the insults. Rava Amar says, Rava mikashla taka, she sets the table, umahajala gaba, and then she turns her back on him. Amar Ravi Chama bar Chanina, Kivan she nasa adam isha, when a man marries a wife in the second medium-sized line, avaynai samis back again. sin. His sins, his aveiros are plugged up. Shenemar moitzi isha moitza toiv. You find a wife, you find goodness. V'yafek ratzain me Hashem, and what's going to happen? It's going to be plugged up. All your issues from Hashem. But Ma'arava in the west, in Eretz Yisrael, kinas v'inish mitzvah. When a person married a wife, Amrulay, they would tell him, "Acha maitza, oy maitza." What type of wife did you get? Did you get a matzah or a maitza? Matzah, d'chsav mitzvah isha matzah toiv, a good wife. Maitza, d'chsav maitza nimar mimav, is something better than that as a isha. That's what they would ask if you get married. Amar Rava, interesting question to ask at the chasana. Amar Rava says, Rava, isha ra mitzvah ligarsh, an evil wife. You should divorce it. D'chsav garish lates, but yatzeh. Garash late v'yetze madan v'yishboy zedin v'kaloin. Says the pasuk you should be megaresh the late the scoffer v'yatza and she will leave v'yasha v'yishvois. The Yishvais din v'kaloin, and then all the judgments and the shame will cease to exist. V'amar Rav, and Rav continues all these statements about evil women, evil wives, 6 lines into the medium-sized line. Isha rog subasa meruba sarasa betzida. If it's a bad wife and she has a big ksuba, her tzara, the rival is at her side. Damri inchi. Excuse me, no. Isha rab ksuba meruba. Rav is teaching us what to do. Says Rav, if one, God forbid, has a bad wife and he has to give her a big ksuba, what should he do to make her better? He can't divorce her. He can't afford the ksuba. So you know what he should do? Sarasa b'tzida. He should get a tzara. He should get a co-wife for her. And the rival will make her shape up. The Amri Enshi, people say, b'chavrasa b'loi b'tzilta, with her peer and not a thorn. The fact that there's another wife will make her become a better wife. Amar Rav, kashi isha ra ki yoim sagarir. Says Rav, bad woman is like a stormy day. Shenemar dalav tayred biyoim sigrir v'ishas midyanim nishtava. An irksome day of rain and a contentious wife. V'amar Rava continues Rava. How good or how bad? You found a good wife, you found goodness. If the pasuk literally refers to a wife, how great is a good wife that the pasuk praises her and says to her that you have the ultimate goodness. And if the pasuk, even if the pasuk doesn't refer to a wife first to the Torah, kama taiva isha taiva, we can still infer how good a wife is. The Torah is equated to it. The wife's a diamond. She's like a diamond. The wife's a Torah. She's as great as the Torah is. But continues and he says, kama ra isha ra. But on the flip side, how bad it says Rava could a wife be? Worse than death. If the pasuk's talking about a wife, look how bad she is. Even Gehenim is talking about Gehenim. Also, Kamra Yishara. Shakenim Nimshalis spots. Completely go to Gehenim. Quite a terrible analogy. Continues the Gemara. We're about 15 lines into the medium-sized line. First word of the line is Ra'ah. Hineni continues the pasuk. The Gemara bringing a pasuk about a bad wife. Hine maybe Ra shalo yochlu latis mimenu. I'm going to bring a Ra, an evil, something that you cannot escape. Amar Rav Nachman Amar Rabba Ravu Zu Isha Ra B'Ksubasa Meruba. Like we said a moment ago, the worst is the two found this compounded problem of a bad wife and a big ksuba. Nesanani Hashem biyadi. Continues the psukim. Hashem has delivered in my hand. Lo uchal kom. Those who I can't stand. Amar Rav Chisda Marar Ukva Barchia Zu Isha Ra Ksubasa Meruba. V'Marava Amru Zebim Zanesav Tliim B'Kisvai. They said this is referring to someone who you only have kasbay. All you have is cash. That's also a terrible predicament. Continues the Gemara about the evil wife. Your sons and daughters will be given to other people. Other people. Amar Rav Nachanan bar Rava. Amar Rav Zu Ishes Ha'av. This refers to a stepmother. So we go from one evil to another evil. Begoy Naval Achisem continues the psukim. A vile and terrible nation. I'm going to anger them. Amar Rav Chanan bar Rava. Amar Rav Zu Isha Ra Uksubasa Meruva. Rav Laza Amar Eluat Sedukim refers to the Sedukim. V'cheinu Oimer Amar Navu Bliba Inalikim. B'masnita Dama. What do they learn in the Mishnah? Third way of learning this pasuk. These are the people of Baraviva v'anshe Maratanya. So what are these people of Baraviva Matarna? Shemahalchan Arumim b'shok, quite dreadful people that walk around in the nude in the marketplace. She'ein lecha mishukatzu mitzuav l'fnei hamakam yismi shalach b'shuk arum. Who is as vile and disgusted by God than one who walks in the middle of the street? Arum, one who walks in the middle of the street without any clothing, referring to someone who has absolutely no dignity community like an animal himself. Rav Yochanan Amar, fourth shot, Ilu Chavirim. This refers to the Charabiim. These were some Persians who hated the Jews. Amar later Rav Yochanan said to Rav Yochanan, Asu Chavrei b'Bavel. They said to Rav Yochanan, your friends have come, not your friends, but the Chabore, these Charabians, these people that hate us came to Bavel, Shagam. Nafel, Rav Yochanan fell down. Oh, how terrible it is. Amrulei Mekabli Sheichada. They told Rav Yochanan, don't worry about it. We could bribe them. Continues the Gemara, Tarit Yosef. So Rabbi Yochanan stood up and Gazru al Shleisha, and Rabbi Yochanan made 3 gezeros. What were the 3 gezeros? They told Rabbi Yochanan that Gazru, these Terabians, made 3 gezeros mimnei gimel, because of 3 averos that Klal Yisrael did respond to Rabbi Yochanan. Gazru al basar, they made a gezerah about shchita, and explains Rabbi Yochanan ne'amatanos, because Klal Yisrael is not being makbid on the matanos to kahuna, meiser and shumas, etc. Gazru merchatzais, they made a gezerah against the use of bathhouses, explains Rabbi Yochanan ne'atfila, because Klal Yisrael is not being makbid on tefillah. Kamechadati. They made a gezerah about the dead. The reason is because the Yidden were celebrating on their Goyish holidays, so they made a gezerah against our dead bodies. And Amar Rabbi Shmuel, this refers to exhuming the corpses, a terrible thing to do to a dead body. Why does these corpses get punished? Because of the sins of those who are alive. And Amarle Rava continues, Rava 5 lines from the white lines, the Rava Barmari Ksev lo Yosfu v'lo Yikavru. It says in the pasuk they will not be gathered, they're not going to be buried. L'daiman al panei adama, they're going to be like dung on the ground. You. Uksev in another pasuk says, V'nev chayim avaz mechayim, and death is going to be better than life. So I don't understand. What is it? Is it death better than life? Or the other hand, they can't be buried, these people. Amarle nev chayim avaz l'rishayim. What does this mean? Death is going to be better for the wicked. So yichyu by the so they should not continue into this world and continue doing Averos, and then fall deeper and deeper into Gehenim. Says the Gemara, let's get back into marriage. Kosav v'sefer ben Sisra. It says in the Sefer of Ben Sisra, this is the Zman of the second Beis Hamikdash. It was Rei Nisha Taiva Matana Taiva. A good woman is a good gift. And now we have some parentheses over here. No, we do not. Excuse me. Lebaila. She is a good gift to her husband. And it says as well, this actually is a Shaila in the Gears over here, but it says she's embraced Hashem. So explains the Gemara, Tinase Isha Ra Tzaras Labayla. A bad woman is like Saras to her husband. Maita Kante Garshana divorce service Rabbi Mitzrata, and then you'll get healed. Isha Yafa, what's a good wife? Ashrei Labayla, praiseworthy is to her husband. Mispar Yamav Kefilim, Mispar Yamav Kaflayim, the numbers of his days are doubled. Continues the Gemara, Hali Meinecham Isha's Chayin, conceal and hide your eyes from a woman of charm. Penti Lached B'Misuda, maybe you're going to be ensnared by her, a beautiful woman, but someone else's wife. Don't look over there. Don't even get involved with the husband. To give him wine and beer. Because many people have fallen, many people have been destroyed because of a beautiful woman. And her victims, we're calling it her victims, that her beauty caused this man to do an Aveira. Many are the blows by the peddler. That cause one into Arava Kinitza, it's a Mavir Gacheles, like these incredible Lashainas, like a spark ignites a coal, Kiklov Mali Uf, like a coop is full of birds, Kain Batea Malayim Mirma, so too their houses are full of deceit. Al Teter Taras Machar, don't be distressed by tomorrow's issues. Kiloi Seda Ma Yilid Yom, you don't know what today's gonna bring. Shema Machar Ba Veinenu, maybe tomorrow will never come, and Imsa Mitztair Oilam. Shein Shalai. So maybe you're worrying about something that's never going to happen. So worry about yourself today. Mana Rabim Mitoich Beisecha. Make sure there's not too many people in your house. Lo Kol Tavi Beisecha. Rabim Lo Kol Tavi Beisecha. Don't bring everyone into your house. Rabim you Darshei Shleimecha. Many people should be the one that's asking how you are. Kolasoy Lacher Me'olef. And still only tell your secrets to 1 in 1,000 people. And we're going to pick it up from Ravasi as we're going to get back into the mitzvah of Puravu Mirz Hashem in the next year.